Hello, welcome to another episode of Cup Rant. This is your host, God of Coffee, and as a special guest, I have Guardian here to help me rant, which is going to be fun. So,
indeed.
Yeah. So today's episode is going to be ranting on one of my most favorite of the people that are the assholes, I guess, the asshole group of Smite and other MOBAs, which are the rage quitters. What are your opinions on this, Guardian?
I fucking hate rage quitters because they make the game just terrible all around, and they're making... Basically, if it's on your team, you're pretty much you're down a man, you're screwed. They just screwed you over your entire team. At least if they're there, they can be, contributing to
like
your
a meat
success
shield
or failure.
Yeah.
Or just being a meat shield if they're, a guardian or a warrior. And if they're on the other team, then you're either doing super well, but you can't be really happy about it because you're already a man up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's either 4v5 on, it's one of the 4v5s on each side. Like yesterday we were playing that game and we were doing very good, and at the end of the game I went 22-1 and I couldn't do it without the rest of our team. Like you were playing Sobek and other people were playing other people with knockups. But the person on our team that was like the single man out because he wasn't in our group, he rage quit. It's not really called rage quitting, but what is your opinion on that? Because we were doing good and he just AFK'd.
Well, I think it might have had to do with how badly he was doing as Rom, because he ended up being 1, 2, and 5 that I'm looking at right now, and he just, I don't know why you would leave if you're winning. At least you get some, if you get free, better worshippers, better favor, everything. But he either must have got beat up pretty bad by the other team, or I don't even understand why you would rage quit if you were winning. At least stick around for the free stuff.
Yeah, so either the only things I can get out of this is that either he decided on just giving up, that he thought we were going to win anyways, because he did rage quit. Like he didn't rage quit, but he left. Okay, so he AFK'd, but then he kept returning, and he returned probably about 6 or 7 times, I would say. Is it kept saying a teammate has returned, and then a teammate has abandoned the game, and then it kept doing that. But it was the same for the other side. The Za rage quit too, but he was doing bad.
No, it was their Mercury.
Oh, their Mercury rage quit.
The one that was the odd man out.
Yes, and he was doing bad, and he was at that point of either he was feeding or he just didn't know how to play the god and such like that. So this is what I'm trying to get roughly around, is that they're my favorite of the group. I hate people that are toxic in the game and stuff, and other people that talk shit to the other team and stuff like that after the game. But rage quitters are my favorite because it's showing, once they leave, how small-willed they are, and that they shouldn't really be playing the game at all, to be honest. There are certain points when you do need to leave, if something happens in your house, if you need to go do something, if something really important pops up and stuff, I understand you gotta leave because real life takes priority over video games. But there are certain occasions that if you leave, it causes your team to lose, and even if one of your friends is playing with you, you're still letting down a friend. So I understand that it's understandable for some things to leave and some reasons not to leave. But in my case, if I ever need to leave a game and I understand that I need to go to do something or something, if it's over 10 minutes, I will literally ask my team if we can F6 because I need to go do something. And I understand that's stupid. I understand surrendering is bad and sometimes, but I like surrendering because I like that they incorporated surrendering, I should say that, because some people do need to leave and some people can't stay playing a game for 40 minutes. So understandable. So what are your thoughts on surrendering and stuff like that? Early, I mean.
Surrendering early, I mean, I'm not a big fan of surrendering overall because I've had some games where you can make a comeback at the end. I've had been trying to teach Nilbog this too. Is you can't always just surrender right off the bat, because I mean, we've had a few games where we were just getting destroyed. We were sucking it up, and we was like 3-22. But we got that last push, and we cleared through their Phoenix and their Titan in one push just by getting a good playoff, a good team fight. And like in those cases, I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that it's best to never quit or never surrender, just because you can always learn something from this game. But on the other hand, like for instance, what you were talking about with like people having to do something, like if it's a emergency, or if it's something that just came up, like hey, I gotta go. I mean, if it's something quick, like I get up and I have to let my dog out sometimes, and I'll be AFK for like 2 seconds, and then I'll be like, hey, I'll be right back. But if you actually have to leave, I could see being early surrendering being easy, because then you're not hindering your team, you're helping them out, basically by not keeping them in a game where they might be losing. Or I mean, if it's back and forth, a fair game so far, and you have to leave, then obviously they're gonna probably start losing quite a bit, and just it's not fair to your teammates if you have to leave. So it's more easy for them to just surrender, and then they can go get in the game while you're gone, or something like that.
Yeah, fully understandable. Okay, so let's put up like a picture this, okay, in your mind. So, have you ever had one of these people? I literally had one of these earlier today, so that's why I'm bringing this up. So, we get into this game and stuff like that, and you know how most people spam VER, VEG, VEW, they spam that shit. And, there's some of those people that don't talk. Like, they will not type before the game, and they won't type in the middle of the game, like, anytime. Like, they will not talk to their team. Well, earlier today, we had this guy that insta-locked in a jungler on Arena, and he ended up not talking to any of us. So we were fine with it, because, it's an assassin, we can work around it. Well, he ended up going 0-6, and then leaving the game about 8 minutes in. And how, that would be rage quitting at that point. At least tell your team that you're leaving. At least tell them that I'm sorry for feeding, gone. But before he left, this was his sentence that he typed to us, saying that we are trash, we are noobs, GG, you all suck. And then he left. How do you feel about those type of people?
Man, that one's just, that's garbage. I hate it when people do that, but I hate it when people don't talk in general, like before the game or during the game. I mean, even if you don't want to talk, you should use the voice guidance system, because the voice guidance system is like the best thing ever for people that don't want to be social in like a casual game or anything like that. I mean, it's perfect. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to stand there and type, or stop there and type or anything. You just VEL or VVGH, hi, what's up, you don't have to type out anything. You can just be antisocial social. Yeah. And just enough so that you're there's commands where you can be helpful to your teammate, missing right, hey, take this fire buff, whatever. I mean, it's, if you're not gonna be contributing to your team by at least calling out stuff or being helpful in chat or anything, and you're also feeding, 0 and 8 is definitely feeding, you're not playing with your teammates enough to at least get a few kills off of an assassin, which is, I mean, getting kills with an assassin.
Well, the thing is, it was funny because he didn't just right out feed right away. He actually played very safe at the very beginning and such, and then about 2 minutes is when it just like completely blew up. Is because the team fight started happening and stuff, and he ended up going under a tower to go kill someone. He didn't get the kill. Someone else on our team stole it, pretty much. That's what it looked like. I think our Rama actually stole it with his ulti. But, so I think after that, I think that just snapped something in his head, and he's just like, I'm going to feed. And then he kept just going out and trying to like 1v3 people. And that's what kind of, yeah. But,
that's just unwise.
Yes, it is. It is. Some people... Well, let's wrap this up. So, in conclusion, my thing about rage quitters and stuff, they are one of my most favorite because you don't got to deal with them after the game. Usually they're gone and you don't got to talk to them, and you can report them, and those you can actually report pretty simply by just putting AFK. And AFK, I think, get more in trouble for other people, to be honest. I think they look at AFKers more because I think they punish them easier. To be honest, I wish Hi-Rez actually used the same thing that Dota uses for punishment. In Dota 2, when you rage quit from a game, and if you rage quit so many times, they put you in this thing called low prio. And in low prio, you don't get to choose your people that you play. Out of the 110, I think they have 110 people. You don't get to choose from any of those. You get to choose from 3 that they randomly generate for you. And if you have to pick one of those 3, and you're put with other people that are in low prio. And it adds up very quickly. So if you leave another low prio, you'll have like 8 low prio games. And then it just keeps adding up. And eventually, you're fucked. Because you're going to be stuck in low prio for pretty much good. And I kind of wish that Hi-Rez did that. What would you like? Would you think that that would be a good idea to put on Smite?
I could see. So, from what I understood of that, you said that the people with the low prio, you said they get 3 champions to pick from,
yes,
or whatever.
It's randomly generated from the computer, 3 people that you can choose from, and that's it.
Yeah, on the one hand, I think that should be 5, and I think it should be a random person from each class, because otherwise that's still hindering your team. If it's, you know, for instance, obviously if it's 3 people that you don't play, then you're obviously hindered anyway, but at least you can help your team.
On Dota, it's kind of separated into 3 different classes, which is kind of cool. It's strength, agility, and magic. And it gives you one of each 3 class. So it gives you a tank, a damage person, and then a mage. Although all of them can do damage. There are carry tanks, there's, you know, stuff like that. So I understand where you're coming from. 1 from each class, so 5 people. So I think that would be kind of cool if it randoms 5 gods and you could only choose from those 5 gods. But I think that it would... I think it would be a good idea, to be honest, at the end of the day. Or like forcibly... Like, it would be like... kind of like Assault. Like, you had to play, like, 2, for abandoning 1 game, let's say you got to play 2 Assault games with other people that abandon games. Would that make sense?
Yeah, I could see that one. I mean, the system they have in place right now is the Goodwill system, which I really I don't like, because it's supposed to reward you for finishing games completely, but it doesn't count surrenders. Yes. Which I think rage quitting should count towards your Goodwill. Yes. But I don't think surrenders should, because, you know, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, some people just have to leave sometimes. I mean, and then their whole team suffers either by losing the game but keeping their goodwill, or they have to surrender because they're basically just getting thrashed on.
Okay. Fully understandable. So, again, let's end this video on a pretty much our thing about it. Just don't rage quit, people. Like, don't do it. It's in your best interest not to, because 1, you're gonna get punished in the game. 2, you're leaving your teammates. And 3, if you're playing with a friend, you're pretty much turning your back and backstabbing your friend. So those are 3 good reasons why you should not rage quit. I can think of plenty not to rage quit. It just makes you look like a bitch at the end of the game. It really does. Just don't do it. You're going to get laughed at by 5 people on the other team, and then you're going to be pissing off 4 other people. So that's 9 people in the world that you will never meet, but they hate your guts. So, anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. You guys take it easy, keep playing some games, and keep drinking that coffee. Talk to you later.